Hello everyone, this is Slatter and welcome to another edition of GTA's ISO Mode. If you haven't already, follow GTA Sports Network and GTA Heat Check on all social media platforms. Like, comment, and subscribe to GTA Sports on YouTube. And don't forget GTASportsNet.com for all things in the world of sports. Now today we're going to talk about a team that is the definition of mediocre. The Atlanta Hawks. This team is 38-38 as the time of this recording. 500 winning percentage, 16.5 games away from the number one seeded Milwaukee Bucks, 24-23 in the conference, 22-16 at home, 16-22 on the road, 5-5 in the last 10. Now, you may ask yourself, how does a team manage to perfect a 500 season? The Raptors are in the same boat, but this video ain't about them. We're going to say that for another one. We're going to start with it like this. Let me break down the roster for you. Maybe it'll help you understand why this team is a 500 team. Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, those are your guards. All right? That's your backcourt. All right? Clint Capella, John Collins, front court. Bojan Bogdanovic and Sadiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, and the list goes on as far as the bench goes, with head coach Quin Snyder taking the place of Nate McMillan. Now, the reason why this team has been 500, in my opinion, my honest opinion, in the midst of the season, changing coaches midway through the season. Quin Snyder's not the defensive mastermind Nate McMillan was. Nate McMillan wasn't being listened to. He was being tuned out by the locker room. He lost the locker room early in the season. Him and Trae Young kind of had a falling out early on this season. I think it was already building up from last year, where certain superstars are known as coach killers in the NBA. LeBron held that reputation at one point in Cleveland. Other players have also gone through that title of being, getting coaches fired that they didn't feel, prioritized them or played a certain offensive, scheme or plays that were tailored for them, and they, made them do things they didn't want to do. Nate McMillan was a defensive mastermind. Anybody that knows his track record as a coach and what he's done for franchises since he's been in the league as a player and a coach, he's always been defensive-minded first. With Trae Young as your main franchise player, and Dejounte Murray's addition at the end of last offseason, we already knew what the outcome was going to be. I mean, you're dealing with two players who don't really want to play defense. And you have to think for 1 second, why would Coach Pop down in San Antonio send Dejounte Murray to Atlanta or be okay with Dejounte going to Atlanta and not try to retain him? There was problems in San Antonio that wasn't being pushed in the mainstream media because San Antonio is not a big market team. Therefore, unless they're in the championship conversation, which they hadn't been since they lost Kawhi Leonard, all the things that were going on with Dejounte Murray down in San Antonio weren't getting picked up by the media. But when you put him with Trae Young, who's, shining a big light, I mean, everything comes to the surface.
Trae, it was just a 1-point game there with about 9 seconds left. The number one defense in the NBA. How'd you hold the Cavs off and close this one out?
I mean, we gotta stop. I mean, a lucky bounce at the end, but I mean, we just figured out a way to win, even though it wasn't the prettiest. I didn't play my best, but I mean, it's a full team win. It's a team effort, and it was a great win for us.
The bench always tells me about how they're the best bench mob in the league, but as a starter, what can you say about the impact that this bench unit has?
I mean, I want that. I want our bench to be the best in the league. I think that's going to make our team great and special, so we just got to have that as much as possible, and they've been showing out for us and keeping us in the games and helping us win games here recently, and we're going to need it to finish out the season too.
44 bench points to just the Cavs 14, a lot of those coming from Onyeka Okongwu. What can you say about the impact he has for you all on both ends of the floor?
I mean, Big O was playing great. I mean, tonight, obviously, they have bigs and battling with his former USC teammate. I think it's good that he could come out here and get into a rhythm and help carry us tonight and get us a win.
Only 6 games left in the regular season. How do you use this win to fuel closing out the season strong?
You just got to try to take it one game at a time and use every win as motivation and momentum going to the next one, and hopefully we continue to do that. I think we will.
Thanks so much, Trae.
Appreciate it. In my opinion, the reason why this team is standing at a 500 record is because they're great on offense, but they don't play defense. They don't close. There's been plenty of those games within the majority of the season where they were winning the game and let the other team outscore them at the end on the down stretch. And it's really unfortunate because their record should be way better than that. They should have won more than 40 games at this point in the season with a week left until the play-in tournament, because that's how close we are to the end of the season. the Hawks are looking at potentially being bounced out of the playoff picture if they don't finish strong in these last 5 to 6 games they have left remaining. Due to the fact the Raptors have the best record as them, the Bulls, are right there, a couple games out. They don't really have anybody else to really worry about. The Pacers have been on a losing streak. Wizards have been on a losing streak. They're an 8th seed right now. The Bucks, Celtics, 76ers, and Cavaliers, your first 4 teams in the East, have clinched their playoff positions. The Chicago Bulls are in the play-in, and the Raptors are in the play-in. And, of course, the Hawks will be fighting to keep the 8th seed and defend it against the Raptors and the Bulls. With defense being insufficient, I could see the Hawks getting bounced out. But they would have, unless they go on a scoring a scoring outburst and just torch the next 5-6 games straight, that'll get them in the playoffs. But they're gonna get knocked out because if the Hawks got to play the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, this team is not getting far. I'm not saying Quin Snyder can't turn this around. It's more of a player personnel issue, in my honest opinion. You got a lot of talented pieces, but they don't fit together in the same puzzle. Nobody believed that Dejounte Murray was going to help Trae Young, but Trae Young, honestly. They both pretty much need the ball in their hands to be effective. Dejounte does help Trae off ball when it comes to shooting, so he's probably been way more efficient from shooting because he doesn't have to create his own shot. He can catch and shoot with Dejounte bringing the ball up the court. The problem is, does Dejounte really like passing the ball? And the answer is no. He's more of a 2 than he is a 1. He can play the 1, but he's really a 2. He likes to shoot the ball. Jump shot's not the greatest. He's more of a slasher, Russell Westbrook type. Get to the rack, draw the foul, and cross your fingers. He makes both free throws. But Clint Capella doesn't fit this roster. Unfortunately, he slows the game down. Onyeka Okongwu plays center better for this style of basketball when it comes to pace of play. But he's undersized slightly at the center position. So that gives advantages to the Joel Embiid's, the Brook Lopez's. I'm just naming centers from the East. Obviously, Bam Adebayo. That's a better matchup for him. Bam Adebayo and Okongwu, they're about the same as far as size and build and style of play. So that's probably a better matchup for him. But when it comes to traditional center, it's a little tough. It's a little more challenging. Overall, Quin didn't get a full season with him, so I do believe he's going to turn this thing around. They did get Saddiq Bey at the trade deadline out of Detroit. That was a great pickup at the small forward position, but they already have Bogdan Bogdanovic and DeAndre Hunter, so I do see one of them moving possibly in the offseason because this team is small forward heavy, power forward heavy. So you got a lot of the same players on the team. Saddiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter, and Bogdanovic are roughly the same player. Bogdanovic is a better shooter than the other 2 I just mentioned over Bey and Hunter, but he doesn't play defense. He's just straight offense. And that's why overall this team is a 500 team. Great shooting, poor defense. You can outshoot your opponent, but the ones that can go shot for shot and you're not stopping or blocking, they can get the last shot if you keep the game that close all the way to the 4th quarter and the final 2-minute warning. So overall, this team just needs to focus more on defense. Hopefully Quin can turn it around on the defensive end of the court, and they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to go very far at this pace and at the trajectory and the way they've been performing overall this season. That is my conclusion. This is the ISO mode for the Atlanta Hawks. You can follow me at Slatter on all social media platforms. Don't forget to follow GTA Sports Network and GTA Heat Check. Like, comment, and subscribe to GTA Sports on the YouTube. And don't forget GTASportsnet.com for all things in the world of sports. This is Slatter, and until next time, take care.